Nelson Mandela said knowledge and education are the keys to changing the world and advancing humanity. Well, did you know that the knowledge and education industry are one of the most recession-proof and also one of the most profitable and fastest-growing industries in the world? Over $400 million a day is spent on online education right now, especially with people at home on their phones, on their laptops, looking to absorb new skills, gain new information, and perhaps even pivot their life, pivot their businesses or their careers. This industry continues to expand. There's roughly 65,000 Google searches conducted every single second. How amazing is that? People like you and I are going online, looking for information, looking to learn new skills so we can advance forward. Well, here's the key. We are not just the consumers of this information, we are also the educators and the teachers in this modern-day economy. That is the beauty of this process. When I talk about gaining new skills and when I talk about sharing your information, anyone has the capacity to do this. You can use your phone or your laptop to digitize your information, put it online, and share it with thousands of people with a click of a few buttons. That's the amazing world that we live in today. When you talk about what kind of information can I share, it could be about anything. Law, business, accounting, how to write a book, how to pet your dog, how to talk to your teenage kids, how to cook better, how to live better, how to fight insomnia, or any other topic that you already know about. But here's where this model gets even more interesting. Over $200 billion a year are dedicated in grants to nonprofit educational organizations. Think about that. That's a massive number. And this continues to grow year after year after year because the knowledge industry is not going anywhere. We're all going online. And as the world continues to evolve, we have to evolve. We have to advance ourselves. And what do? Especially right now with colleges and universities going virtual, which are adapting, we can go online and get the knowledge that we need with a click of a few buttons. That's the beauty of this process. How many of you own a phone, a computer, or even access to the internet? Imagine if you can take these tools that you already possess, share it online with thousands of people, and it doesn't require any fancy technology. You don't need a fancy building or lease equipment. You don't even need any particular skills to be able to shoot this content. You can shoot selfies. You can have a little stick at home. This is all conducted from home today. These are all the courses that people are taking. Take a look at this number. This will alarm you. When people think of nonprofits, they generally think about charities and churches. But universities and even learning centers are nonprofits. And many of them are actually more profitable than some of the largest Fortune 500 companies. We've all heard about Fortune 500s that have disappeared or that have gone bankrupt with the fluctuating economies. Some of them have been around for hundreds of years. But how many of you have heard about a university or a learning center that's ever gone bankrupt? It just doesn't happen because they are operating in one of the most recession-proof industries in the world. That's the beauty of the process. Look at the amount of revenue, for example, Harvard pulls in. Billions of dollars. This is larger than some of the most Fortune 500 companies. They even possess more assets than some of the largest Fortune 500 companies. That's the beauty of this entire process. So when you think about nonprofits, don't just think about churches and charities, think about educational centers, think about universities. The other benefits that nonprofits enjoy is that you can get funded by free grants. Grants from Fortune 500 companies, grants from the government, from the public, or independent organizations that support your cause. You can even have tax-free write-offs. A nonprofit generally pays no tax. So you have a business model that literally anyone can create from home using the tools that you already possess. using information that you already have. It doesn't require any inventory that you have to go stock a warehouse with. This is stuff that is already in your possession. All you have to do is structure it the right way, and you can get funding to pursue your dreams, pursue your passions, continue on your mission, and change lives. I've been in business for over 20 years, and I've tried businesses in a variety of different markets: import and export, food and beverage, law, technology, marketing, even brick and mortar. In 2005, when the economy crashed, at that time I owned a very successful 7-figure bakery that literally disappeared overnight because my bakery could not keep with the fluctuating economy and the change in the market cycles. It essentially enabled me to go out and crash the entire business. In one day, I had to fire 20 people, shut down an entire factory, 10,000 square foot factory. So that led me on a quest to go find this business model. I knew there was something out there. And that started this entire journey of finding a business model that was risk-free, that was funded by grants, that could operate in any economy, and that could empower me to go out there and thrive regardless of how the economy was doing. That is how I came across this model. And life has been different ever since that happened. It was almost magical. So in the years preceding that, I created my own educational nonprofit organization, almost fused it with an existing law firm that I had, and ran both the business in parallel. That is when something amazing started to happen. I started creating educational content in different areas of law and business and strategy, things that I was already doing in my law firm. But the difference was that I was getting funding. I was not paying for taxes. I had Fortune 500 companies showering me with grants month after month, year after year. So I eliminated some of the most inherent risks of starting a business. You know, when people think of how do you make more money, how do you increase your net worth, there are generally 3 main ways that come to mind. The first is if you have a job, you need to go get a promotion. We all know how that goes, right? The second is you can invest your hard-earned money into real estate, into stocks, into securities, or other properties. Well, you have to be ready to face the risk because, again, that's not in your control. It depends on external factors outside your control, even with due diligence. The third option people generally think about is, how do I start a business? Which is an amazing way, and especially with the tools today that are out there, anyone can start a business. Now, I'm even adding a 4th category, or part 3, sub B, which is fusing this educational nonprofit arm to any business that you start. And the beauty about this model is that, number 1, it's risk-free. It's recession-proof. You can do what you're already doing. You're monetizing the skills that you already have, that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. This enabled me to stand out from competitors. The more I focused on educational content that I was already pitching to clients, the more I stood out from competitors, because a lot of my competitors, lawyers who were spending a lot of money to get clients, were focused on bringing as much revenue in the door as possible because they had advertising expenses. They had huge costs and overhead that they had to recoup, which I did not have. So that enabled me to focus on delivering amazing content. So the better I got at delivering content, the more clients I started getting. That means I started gaining more goodwill, more trustworthiness. I started becoming the expert in the marketplace. And that's when something even more amazing happened. I went from being the hunter of clients into becoming the hunted. I had premium customers in different industries reach out to me who wanted to work with me because of the value I delivered. I went from hunting clients at the lowest rock bottom prices into being the hunted who offered premium services at amazing cost because there was a lot of benefit to what I offered. People started hiring me for the expertise I provided to them, not because I was the cheapest lawyer around. And that's when I got it. This is an amazing model that anybody can incorporate. So when I talk about nonprofits, it's not about just creating a business. It's about creating a legacy. Nonprofits exist in perpetuity. They don't expire. This is something you can pass on to the next generation. I even started receiving awards in different business groups, in different clubs, masterminds, and from some of the top entrepreneurs in the world, because this model allowed me to, number one, get rid of some of the inherent risks in business, advertising, taxes, overhead, and I was getting funding. So what I was able to do was, number one, repurpose those into hiring more staff, creating more jobs, boosting the economy, and even donating a portion of those funds into charitable causes. As you can see here, every year we donate hundreds of thousands of dollars toward charitable causes, which in turn gives me more goodwill, more trustworthiness, and separates me that much further from my competitors who are looking for rock bottom prices. So what am I saying today? All of you have the skills, the knowledge, the tools, and even access to the internet that you can provide out there in the marketplace, share your knowledge, monetize your expertise, and build something that is going to be long-lasting. So I want to leave you with 4 main strategies today on how anyone here or whoever's watching this can walk away with something meaningful. Number 1 is thinking about starting an educational nonprofit organization. It's a technical process that is not very hard. It's just like setting up a business. Number 2 is creating educational content. As I mentioned earlier, educational content is very broad. If you're in real estate, you can teach people about how property works, how to negotiate buyers and sellers, what pitfalls to avoid. If you're a lawyer, you can teach people about the law, about how court procedures work, about something else that is very technical. If you're a doctor, you can teach people about the human body and how to live a better life. I can go on and on, but I think you get the point. This can be applied in any single industry. Let's talk about what kind of educational content you can create. Maybe some of you have that regurgitating in your mind. Think about all the stuff that you are reading on Google today. Blogs, articles, newspaper letters, newsletters, courses, programs, podcasts, videos. All of these are educational content. Education is very, very broad. Any information that you can share with the public, that they can absorb, they can take value from, is educational. I would even argue this entire presentation might be educational in nature, giving you a new idea that you can take away with. So that is step number 2. Step number 3 is, as you structure this nonprofit, you can have a variety of funding sources that are just not offered to for-profits. A variety of doors start to open up that you can leverage. And the best part about this is, like I said, it's a perpetual entity. You can have a business that you create that you can have funding for the rest of your life and for generations to come. And number 4, you can focus on delivering the knowledge, the ideas, the content that's up here to the public so that you can empower them, you can teach them. Which brings me back to my original point and my statement, what Nelson Mandela said: knowledge and education are the keys to changing the world. We all have the power to change the world, advance humanity, and give something back to others. I believe that knowledge is not meant to be kept with you. Don't leave the earth without sharing your knowledge and giving something back to others. Thank you.